Welcome back, everybody. Thought I'd come on for a quick video update. Check up, check in. Life is not easy in this time. Words kind of hitting home right about now. Everything that's been going on. Sung by a singer called Anthony Johnson, reggae dancehall singer. Actually recorded an album as part of a group called Mystic Eye for producer Linval Thompson before going solo in the early 1980s. Hit with the album called I'm Ready. One of his biggest hits was called Gunshot. Was spinning this LP by him the other day, part of kind of a haul I bought quite a while back. 1983, the Rusty International label. Anthony Johnson with I'm Ready. Only 3 tracks each side, all extended mixes, laid down by the Roots Radix at Channel 1 Studio, which is about all you need to know right there. Banger. Dancehall style, Anthony Johnson. What we were hearing just now was a EP put out a while back, I guess, by him. Anthony Johnson Music, his own label. And we were hearing Life is Not Easy, which certainly rings home right about now with the events of the last little while. As all of you are, I suppose, are. I've been kicking it at home for quite a while now. The kids are on spring break. We actually pulled my daughter out about a week before it started, and sometime after we did, they announced that school would be shut down for the foreseeable future, as is many businesses, many stores, kicking it on the solitary confinement tip is what it feels like at times. I've been listening to some music. This is what we need to do right now. That's what it's there for. Comfort your soul in times of when times are not so easy. That's what it's there for. What have I been listening to? Anthony Johnson. Kind of wasn't feeling like listening to music for the first little while. Slowly starting to get into the swing of things. I have a number of other videos lined up that I'd already completed to put up, but kind of didn't feel like it was the right time to put those up until I came on here and addressed the situation a little bit. But those are coming. Got quite a few done in advance. What I was just listening to actually before this, Matumbi, Point of View, British reggae, 1979. Very nice album. Dennis Bovell fronted Matumbi. Very nice. Hadn't pulled that out in a while. This is kind of on the one hand, it's a good opportunity to go digging in the shelves, pull out some things you haven't listened to in a while. So that part of it has been enjoyable. But some very sad news, along with the seems like the worsening crisis. Just got the news today, Manu Dibango has passed away. Gonna have to spin this in his honor. The Sol Makossa Man, London label, Manu Dibango. I think he was in his 80s, passed away in Paris after contracting the virus. And also jazz pianist Michael Longo. I think John, 6-inch pianist. We were talking about a big collection I was kind of making some buys out of just before joining the vinyl community. This was one of the ones that came out of that collection. Kind of typical of kind of the jazz things that would be in there. Groove Merchant label, early 70s. This will be slated for a spin too. He's also passed away from the virus just recently. Another jazz one I was just listening to yesterday, the day before. The days kind of blur into each other when you're kind of staying at home. Thelonious Monk, Monk's Music, seen this posted many times. This is actually a Japanese pressing, which I bought off a friend of mine. We took the kids out on the weekend to try and do a walk by the river. It was a nice sunny day. It was so busy there, and everybody's trying to keep their distance from each other. And I actually saw my friend that I bought this off of there. We had to say hello from a distance. It was very strange, but that's an actual Japanese pressing, which I bought off him. He was kind of downsizing some of his jazz. Classic album from Thelonious Monk. One of my last new arrivals before going into quarantine was a brand new reissue from Studio One label, again on the reggae tip, Jamaica All Stars Volume 1 and 2. They had just put this out. 2 LPs originally released in the early 1970s, never reissued since until this year. Got John Holt on here, Horace Andy's Fever, Ernest Ranglin's version of psychedelic rock, Hortense Ellis, Burning Spear, early Burning Spear on here, Larry Marshall, Horace Andy again. Great early 70s reggae from Studio One, kind of in their golden period. Very nice to have that one. Apart from that, been trying to do some reading, some viewing when I can. Just finished watching the Aretha Franklin documentary the other day. Amazing Grace, absolutely magnificent. Just astonishing vibes, spirituality, feeling in the music. Aretha herself, kind of an enigma through this. Doesn't really address the audience at all. Seems very reserved, very aloof, maybe even nervous. But when she's singing, she is fully committed, just mind-boggling. And even Mick Jagger and Ron Wood from the Stones show up in the audience on the second night, captured in this documentary of her her gospel performance in California, early 1970s, for the recording of her her gospel album of the same name. Just started watching Brian Wilson Presents Smile. I've had this for years. I bought this at one of my local electronics chains. They had a huge going out of business sale, blowout. This has been sealed all this time. Finally getting around to watching the documentary on there and reading. I think I showed this on a Vinyl Finds video I did, which I have yet to upload, but King Alpha's song In a Strange Land. It's a brand new release on the history of Canadian reggae as it relates to the wave of Jamaican immigrants coming to Canada, specifically Toronto, through the 1960s and 1970s, and how they interacted with the Canadian, the local population, and the exchange of cultural values, cultural ideas that ensued. Kind of a sociological view of the process by which Canadian reggae took root. So that's about all that's been going on, guys. Gonna keep this fairly short today. I just wanted to come on, check in with everybody. Hope everybody is doing well out there through all this. My wife and I kind of work from home already, so it's kind of not that much of a change for us on that hand. And we had just recently pulled one of our youngest kid out of school to do homeschooling, but our oldest was still in school. But everybody's doing well, adjusting as well as can be expected. It's just kind of strange not to be able to do the things you would be normally doing in your daily routine, going to stores, going out. Now it's a lot more anxious, a lot more staying at home, avoiding any sort of contact with anybody. But hopefully we will get through this. We will get through this. We got to lean on our music now more than ever. As I said in the beginning, that is what it's there for. Times like this, it makes us stronger, and we can be thankful as music lovers, as members of the vinyl community, that we do have that connection to support us in times when we need it. And reggae especially has always filled that role for me, for sure. Whenever I've needed it, it's there. Life is not easy, but we lean on the music. So with that, back to regular videos soon. Hope everybody's doing well out there. Take care.